Hey everyone, Death Clock 1637 here. Um, I know I haven't done one of these in a while, um, but it's the end of the league, and I figured I should at least update everyone on what build I'm running and how it's been working out. So I spent a lot of time getting an armor stacker together because during last league, when it was more powerful, I was trying to get a high budget one together, didn't have enough time, and I'm running kind of into the same issue here because I am too high. Right now, the damage of this armor stacker is more in line with one that doesn't cost mirrors to assemble together, but I think I've done at least a decent enough job of putting it together in this form to get all of the shenanigans together that I need in order to make it work. Um, this is here. I'll do a map just to demo the performance a little bit. It's more than capable. My gems aren't actually like fully leveled yet either, so there's some damage being left on the table. Awakened GMP is just about level 2, and then multi strike is not even level 4 yet. So we'll go into a map. I'll take out these and just make it easier for now. But we're using Molten Strike in the armor stack setup. It's not very like flashy, but it does the job. And on Scion, there's a lot of access to regen from other ascendancies and some other like little perks. But the problem with this particular build is that it doesn't get really good without investment. And that is going to take stuff like best in slot double corrupts on your Nimbus, your Mage Blood with Breaks and Determination aura effect, so that you can sort of squeeze the maximum amount of aura effect from everything, and then you can do some other aura effect scaling with either a synthesized ring or a unique one, again corrupted, and then look into other things like a synthesized helmet, which I have in standard, or like an eternal damnation with aura effect and armor on it, all depending on what you choose to do with the build. But like I said, it's more than capable currently of doing any like T16 content. I have noticed that in this particular iteration, it does start to break down a little bit in T17s, but those are going to be pretty killer for any build anyway. As to like the complexity of this build, it's only like really actually doable in like odd damage if you have like a ton of mirrors to throw at it, and by a ton I mean like probably 15 for the amount of voices jewels you need, and like proper synthesized, gear, and like if you wanted to do a redeemer chest, for example, with aura effect, that's also a thing you could do. But again, the ceiling for this is super high, but there are POBs that are much cheaper, and I would say about the same or equivalent damage for much less. This is the furthest thing from a starting build that you will probably ever lay eyes on, because a lot of this gear is just so far stuck in the end game currently. As of 324, Nimbus is a Uber Eater drop, and getting there is a bit tricky with the fragments in T17s. As pretty sure this hasn't changed where it dropped, so that's fine. But I mean, you get the idea. I mean, this should be a +9. I could have +2 and plus aura instead of +7. But again, lots of different things to do. And with the loss of mana cost during Flask Effect, it kind of messed with this build a little bit. And also because you don't have charms, you don't have the ability to have a sort of a mini unbreakable for yourself where armor applies to your elemental damage without the penalty of transcendence, which honestly is pretty annoying. Before I had better conversion, I had to unspec this point because anytime I took physical damage without the like 80% that I have now with my flask up, it was not a great time. It just fell over to any fizz. So I had to go with sort of more of a baseline hit pool, which if transcendence is off, I'm basically 90 max all res. So there would be even some further work to do again with aura effect, which would do things like pump up purity of fire, pump up purity of elements, give me more overcap, etc., etc. But I would say that is kind of it. I don't think there's a super huge point in me going over other particulars of this because the travel is really just 2 sockets and then 2 small passages, which can get extremely expensive. I'll show you an example. This is an expensive one. This is an expensive one. Chaos Res is terrible because I'm CI, so that's actually a wasted stat. But you get the idea. This is a lot closer to ideal. Yeah, so this is like 20. Yeah, it's 55 divine right now or something like this. Crafting them is a huge pain in the ass. If you want, you can always try to get introspection, fracture it, and then have a much easier time trying to get the rest of the stats on it. But the problem is that 35 effect and introspection are both prefixes. So yeah, that's the real difficulty there. Overall, I would say go check out the life-based versions of this and go with Juggernaut because it's way cheaper. Unless you have like 15 mirrors to throw at this, it's going to be very hard to really reach the real damage cap. And with this particular setup, I don't think there's a point in me showing everything because there's still a lot of min-maxing and a lot of retooling I could do to make this a lot better. Yeah, I think that is really kind of it. If you really wanted to make a cheaper version of this, it's excellent for delving. Toughness is like crazy if you can get 100% conversion, but that is very hard to do, and you need quite a crazy Watcher's Eye. Before I went to Transcendence, I had this one, which gives obviously ES on hit, but no conversion. And like I said, I was kind of sacrificing that between the two. If you want some armor stacking advice, you can look up Big Daddy on YouTube. He has a whole compendium, and that will give you everything. And he actually has a tier list video, which is actually pretty informative and gives you some insight into the stuff he tested that was good, bad, or just like too unrealistic of a budget, for example. But yeah, that's it for me. I think I'm probably going to do a bit of a meme build because I found this particular Forbidden Shaco with the level 30 cast on death and level 4 item rarity. So, oh, that is a nice cool build. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to try a meme there. But yeah, Otherwise, just going to be streaming, doing stuff. Maybe a little more PoE. Might dip into some Diablo 2 Resurrected. Anyhow, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching as always. And here's just like a quick peek at the gear. Feel free to pause at any point to see what's going on. Yeah, and I'll stop at the jewel sockets. All right. Peace out.